Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, praises, blessings to the Most High and His only begotten Son, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Krakadash. Double honor to the elder apostle, Bishop, Great Millstone. Shalom to the hopeful elect. Shalom to the one-third remnant. Shalom to you brothers teaching truth and sincerity. It's the brother Sock. Back with a quick lesson. Lord willing is edifying. This is the book of James, chapter 4, verse 15. For that ye ought to say, if the Lord will, we shall live, and do this or that. But now ye rejoice in your own boastings, in your boasting. All such rejoicing is evil. Therefore to him that knoweth to do good and doeth it not, to him it is a sin. Yeah, man, we ought to say, Lord will, we should do this and that, and the third and fourth and the fifth, man. Because that removes pride, and it fills us with humility. Because those who truly believe in Yahweh Shai and Yahweh Shai know that nothing can be done unless the Lord, ordains it to be. Let's go get that. I would do all my pledges, and my counsel will stand. I will do all my pledges. Yeah. Sorry, man. I was a little under the weather. Been under the weather. Well, I ain't been under the weather badly, but I've been snuffling a lot. It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 46, verse 10, declaring the end from the beginning, from the ancient times, the things that are not yet done. So us understanding and knowing that the Lord declared the end from the beginning, that every little meticulous detail in our lives, from how many breaths we take a day, from let's go grab that. It's the book of Luke, chapter 12, verse 7. But even the very hairs of your head are all numbered. Fear not, therefore ye are more of a value than many sparrows. And I also say unto you, whoever shall confess me before men, him shall the Son of Man also confess before the angels of God. So if we know that Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Shai knows there are a number of hairs on our head, before I formed thee in the belly, I knew you. This shows us that everything starts in the spirit before it plays out in the flesh, man. So that also lets us know that verily, if Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Shai does things spiritually, how much more flesh-wise, man. That's why we ought to say, Lord will. Because you can get lifted up with pride, and them spirits can get on you, man. Demons. Or, the Lord can look out for you and send some angels to protect you in times of trouble, man. When 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, I'm in the midst thereof. It just shows us the humility, and it gives us faith in our power, man, to depend on Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Shai, man. I've had dreams where, let's say, the dream, I could just be running and fighting the whole damn dream. Nothing happens. Nothing. I'm just losing the whole dream, man. And then I call on the Lord in the dream. You know how many dreams I've had where I've been fighting and losing, and it's just like, damn, I lost. And then I had the same dream again, but this time I call on the Lord and I get saved and delivered, man. It's like the Lord is mentally programming and conditioning us to always depend on him, even in our dreams. That's why I say you should all pray always, that ye faint not. Praying always means you depend on the Lord. Watch ye therefore and pray always. Meaning you watching the troubles to come and praying that Yahweh shall save you out of them. That's why you ought to say, Lord will. You ought to pray, asking. Even saying Lord will is a prayer. That's asking, that's begging. Lord, please, if it's your will, let me do this or let me do that. That's praying, man. And we should always be conditioned to pray. We should always be conditioned to pray. We should always be conditioned to pray and ask Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Shai. Always, man. Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 5, before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. And before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee, and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations, man. So this lets us know right there that Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Shai controls everything. From the ants on the ground to the clouds in the sky and the waters above, man. Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Shai controls everything. Same way he controls these heathen, these nations. The heart, go grab it. The heart of the king is in the hand of the Lord. the book of Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, and as the rivers of water, he turneth it wheresoever he will. That's what we know and understand, is what we believe, man. The king's heart, right now would be our, president. He's the king of Babylon. He's the king of America. Then you got the king of China. You got the king of North Korea. You got the king of Russia. I know this Vladimir. Then you got the king of the whole world, which is the top elite banking families. Esau Edom, the top families of Esau Edom. The Lord has each king in his hand. And whatever decision they do, the Lord wanted it to be. As we read in Luke, that a sparrow don't fall from the sky unless the Lord ordained it, man. And they eat every day, and they die too, the same way we eat, and some die. Yahweh Shah controls every facet of our lives, man. That's why we ought to pray. That's why we ought to ask and say, Lord, will we do anything? Because if you don't, you get lifted up with pride. And then you fall into the condemnation of the devil. Salakia, forgive me. That's why we always gotta pray, man. This is the book of 1 Thessalonians, chapter 5, verse 16. Rejoice evermore, pray without ceasing. In everything give thanks, for it is the will of the Lord, of the God, and Yahweh Shah Mashiach, is the will of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah concerning you. See? In everything give thanks. But you ought to say, Lord will, we shall do this and do that. That's everything. We shall live. We shall do this or that. That's everything, giving thanks for it even coming to pass. Especially if you pray and the Lord answer your prayer. And even if you did a miracle. It might be something you wasn't expecting, he still did it. Tawadi Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah. I always, Lord willing, I always say when I wake up, Tawadi Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah for this day and everything you given and taken away. Thank the Lord for the things he gives you, and thank the Lord for the things he take away. Because whatever he does is good. We might not understand it, because like there's my ways are not your ways. We don't understand why the Lord do what he do. Well, we do sometimes, but his ways are higher. And if you don't understand it while you're in it, you're going to understand it after it's done. You're going to see the bigger picture that you couldn't see, because sometimes we get in our emotions. We're humans, man. We have emotions. We have sadness, anger, frustration, guilt, depression, and anxiety, those type demons. We all these things we're susceptible to as humans, man. Anger, malice, all these things we're susceptible to. Book of Isaiah, chapter 55, verse 8. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are my ways your ways. Neither are your ways my ways, saith Yahweh Shem Shah. For as the earth and heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. So that lets you know right there, man. That's why we should depend on Yahweh Shem Shah. Because he knows what's best for his creation, man. I forgot where it was at. How can you love this people more than me? Let me go grab it. I don't know exactly what I remember reading it though. I don't know who he was talking to. I don't know if it was Edris or no. Oh man. Damn it, man. Oh, man. I forgot exactly what book it was. I don't remember, man, but I remember the scripture. He was pretty much, I forgot he was talking to the Lord, but he was like, Lord, what about, Israel? And one about, Israel. And the Lord was like, man, how can you love this people more than I do? How can you, feel bad or feel any type of way towards this nation of people that I create, and I love them more than you will ever love them, and that just goes to show us how much mercy and grace the Lord give us. And that's Lord willing, he continue to show us mercy and grace. Lord willing, man. I just want to make some quick. Lord willing, I could probably do some later on today too. Got a lot to catch up on. Until next time, Shalom, Yahweh Tazah, Lord willing, the lesson was edifying.